The only way that I was able to get around the segregation in the Baltimore City school system was that my mother took it upon herself to have her own desegregation plan. She insisted. She went down to the Board of Education and said, "You will admit my daughter to this junior high school, which was 12 miles away from my community." This was at least some 15 years after Brown was decided, and the government still had not figured out how to comply with the Brown decision. And now, when I go back over 40 years later, the schools in my neighborhood are still segregated. And there's been a lot of litigation, some litigation by the ACLU to address the disparity, but nothing's really changed. 50 years isn't a lot of time, but it's too much time, I think, because we're talking about children, we're talking about our future leaders, we're talking about making sure that we have a workforce that's competitive with other nations. And so this is the scariest part of our problem. The disparity based on race, the disparity based on class will lead us to a society that is not prepared for the 21st century. Another problem that we have is the fact that we still live in very segregated neighborhoods. At a bare minimum, we must insist on equality of resources. There's such great disparities in the conditions of the schools, in the condition of the textbooks, in the size of the classrooms, in the credentials of the teachers. We have got to make sure that we abide by a single standard that allows all children to achieve excellence. We must not forget about the imperative to integrate, but we also must not let school districts off the hook by allowing them to discriminate in the area of resources.